Hey guys, did you guys hear that there is a petition going around right now? It is on change.org to remove Bethel from Reading, and it already has 494 of the 500 signatures that it would need. So let's go down here, read what this says. It says, this is a petition. Sorry. This petition to the ACLU and two other locations. We need to remove this church's grasp on our community. They are taking over our housing, our restaurants, our medical offices, etc., and imposing their personal religious beliefs on anyone and everyone who may cross their path. Bethel Church is recruiting people from all over the world to come to Reading and somehow pay for this supernatural school of ministry. People sell everything they own, homes, cars, and leave their families to come to Reading and attend Bethel's church. The members and elders of this church have crept into our city's politics, and its members receive special treatment from many sources throughout the county. These students have speeding tickets dropped, get away with attempted murder. So that would be when the students pushed that kid off the cliff. I'm quite sure that's what that attempted murder is referring to. It has nothing to do with the fact that Bill Johnson and Chris Valentin murdered Scott and Darren Grubbs. To even be able to bring their Templar militia into our town to begin with. So let's keep going. These students have speeding tickets, murder, bribing the police officers with money. Yes, that's right. Bethel Church has given our police department over $1 million. Bethel Church believes and practices gay conversion therapy for people or members who believe it may pray the orientation away. This church brings people on work visas to crowd our city. All the while, they ignore the requests from the people to simply be left alone, to take their church elsewhere. Cult members do not belong in politics. These people lay upon the graves of individuals to soak up their spirit. These people have their members believe that gold glitter falls from the ceiling in their church. They are creeping into the heads of our children through schooling. They must be stopped. Let's see if there are any comments on here. I saw a thing up here that said comments. Okay. See why other supporters are signing, why this petition is important to them, and share your reason for signing. This will mean a lot to the starter of the petition. Hate the takeover our city by Prophet Cult. I'm signing because I have a good friend there who is getting swallowed up by the cultist ways of Bethel. Bethel is buying the police department, and that's not good at all. This is a clear example of political corruption, and taking bribes. Bethel is a mountain of lies and a fine example of Satan's work. Correct. This definitely sounds like a cult. Religion and politics absolutely must be kept separate in this country. This church is literally buying a town with the intent of spreading its hateful doctrine. This has got to be stopped. This kind of religious cultism, fanaticism, has no place in America nor in our government. It was 3 months after I moved to Shasta Lake. I was only working in Reading, not even living there. This woman listening in nearby on an entire conversation I was having with a coworker about my new situation. She then approached us. Let me go under the cover real quick so I can get rid of the glare. She then approached us as the conversation ended and tried to befriend me, inviting me to her church. I knew she had listened in because she repeated most of the conversation, innocently claiming, "Oh, I overheard this. Did I hear you say that? Snake in the grass." She kept trying to invite me to church, but I declined. I had dealt with similar cultish type of church like this before in my small hometown, so I knew the signs. They won't take me, no, and keep trying to push you into coming to church with them. Red flag. Normal churchgoers will politely offer once, twice as a concerned friend, then will let it drop. Please. Oh, plus, I knew she had heard me say that I was single, getting back on my feet financially, and was cutting ties from my family for a while. Perfect target. My coworker said I was smart and warned me to watch out. They will try to recruit anyone they can, wherever they are. I've seen them in action, and it's true. They make me sick. As a Christian, they make my blood run cold. I've listened to them speak, and it's just not normal. To be completely honest, I wish I could shut down this entire religious practice. Well, oh, this Desiree, this is a Luciferian cult. They are practicing the Kabbalah. They are teaching the students to become Freemasons. That's what BSSM is. That's why they have the knighting ceremony at the end of the 3 years. They just put the kids through the same indoctrination that the Masons, the Luciferian. So Freemasonry is the religion that is tasked with spreading the light of Lucifer to the world. That is what has snuck into Reading and calls itself Bethel. These guys are teaching the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah is the doctrine of the fallen angels that's called the doctrine of devils or the doctrine of demons inside the Bible. That's what these guys are teaching to the students and charging the students to become Freemasons. Okay, so let's see. I don't any Christianity take over the world and brainwash people to think that nothing else matters but Jesus. I know not all churches aren't bad, but this one, on the other hand, may look great on the outside, but on the inside, they seem to do terrible things the whole time. We'll skip reading that one. Bethel Church members are leaders kidnapped and trafficked my children to Epstein associates. That's really interesting. That wouldn't surprise me at all. That's why Kim Johnson, that's running One Safe Place, has been using pedophile logos to be able to take the children that the cult wants from. The cult are Masons. The court system is Masons. Our leadership in town are Masons. They may be a different flavor of Mason, but regardless of if it's Bethel cult or anybody else who says, I think I'm smart enough, I should be in charge of you guys. Let me be in charge. I'm going to be the one who's going to direct where you guys go in life. Anybody who has that type of a mentality that says, out of the way, I'm here now. Those people are not our friends. They have no right being in any type of leadership position. Honestly, going out, making friends with the few houses around us, and providing for each other as far as helping with the yard work and getting gardens going and making sure that they've got everything set up where if we go cashless society and nobody can do anything, no buying and selling without taking the mark, we can still barter between ourselves. So you better know your neighbors. Okay, Bethel is a cult. Heretics, heretics, heretics. They really are trying to push their ways on the whole town. Some of these are from 3 years ago. They just represented this, I guess, according to my friend Donna. They really are trying to push their ways on the whole town. The people from all over, take all the rentals and jobs. If they are as good as they say they are, what are they doing for our city to actually help our city? All the homeless, they are all the homeless question mark. They are selfish and only fund things when it will benefit the church. I love God, but I don't think them and their followers really see. They blindly follow. It is like a cult, and I feel like they need to go. Let's see what happens when we load more. Bethel's teachings do not match up with what Jesus taught when he was here on earth, died and rose again, and now sits at the right hand power of God. Satan presents himself as an angel of light to this church in particular because they are Masons, and the Freemasons are the cult of light. They are the fallen angel cult. That's what they're teaching. Okay. Lives here 40 years plus and watched their subtle gentrification of Reading. Not a church, it's a cult. It is in all acts a cult, no different than Scientology for the poor. So, if you go over to the videos list, I actually have a video that shows how Sozo and Scientology's auditing are both connected to the Kabbalah. These guys are Freemasons. They're teaching you Freemason doctrine. That's what this is. It's a sex cult. It's a drug cult. I guarantee that person that said that their child was trafficked to Epstein's clients, I guarantee that's true. These people are that cult. It's just a different finger of it. That's why they get to be rich. Because they are Luciferians and they are servicing other Luciferians. Don't cause your children to pass between the fire. That's the dedication of the children unto Moloch. That's why Bethel has the fire tunnels, because they claim that they're walking between two sets of fire and that they are being refined by the fire. The fire in that situation would be the same as if you had a sidewalk with big giant piles of wood and you had campfires on both sides of the path and you were walking the children between the fires up to the bull to be able to be dedicated or to be sacrificed. Some children were sacrificed to Moloch or to Baal. Some children were dedicated into the religion where they got to be sibyls if they were good at these people that are saying that they're seers. They're the sibyls. They are the people who, from the cult of Pythia, would have been having the fallen angels impart knowledge to them, and then they're just repeating it. That's what these people are doing. If you go and watch the video about speaking in tongues, it will explain that this group, the speaking in tongues that they are doing, is directly connected to the cult of Pythia, the cult of Python, being wise as the serpent. We need to be able to identify who this group is, and they're doing the same rituals as the cult of Pythia. From back when Paul was still around, the cult of Pythia. I believe it was, Ephesians that they're that Paul's addressing. I'm not sure if it's the Church of Ephesus or not. I'd have to go back and look. There's a video on here about it. If you go to the Speaking in Tongues, it's on that. The Speaking in Tongues error and correction video, it's on that video. So this stuff is deeply rooted in Luciferianism. Every single thing Bethel is doing is charging the students to become Freemasons. That's what BSSM is. They're learning the Kabbalah. Albert Pike said, the Kabbalah is the foundation upon which all Freemason teachings are based. If you go and look at all the habits that the Bethel people are being accused of, everything is Freemasonry, Luciferianism, and they're taking the Bible, they're twisting it. The scripture says that they will speak with their hands and teach with their feet. That's what they're doing. They don't read the scriptures. They go walk back and forth across that stage. They make Freemason hand signs while they're telling you stories from their vain imaginations. That's according to scripture also. Everything this cult is doing is in the Bible, and it is warned against. Bethel is in the Bible. No, really. Judgment starts in the house of God. House in Hebrew is Beth. El is God. Bethel is house of God. Judgment starts in Bethel, and that's the reason these occultists named their church Bethel, so that they will be judged first. This is where judgment starts, in the house of God. I'm signing because this church is ruining people's lives, not just in the church itself, but in the community. I want them closed. I'm sick of watching this insidious cult destroy my town. I am against mixing church and state. I am also against Bethel taking over my hometown. We'll skip that one. I feel that Bethel is becoming a dangerous cult. The only people to move up in the ranks of the church are those with money. I don't know of any good deeds they do for the community. Our small business Bethel members come in and disrespect me and my customers. I have toddler and a husband, and I make enough to rent a house for $1,200, but nothing is available unless you go to Bethel. So my family has been living in my parents' basement for a year, starting to get really pissed about it. If you guys go over, I have a video that's called the Seven Mountain, or it shows the Seven Mountain Mandate as the thumbnail, and it says Bethel Ponzi scheme. Bethel created Ponzi scheme, maybe? One of those. Put in Bethel and Ponzi scheme on the search for this channel and you'll find it. I would love to know your place of business, because next time one of those freaks comes in and bothers you, I would love to be there. Okay, Kimmy, I love you. So I'm going to tell you guys a story about one of the places I used to work was a surplus store. We'll just leave it at that part. And after I had worked there for my friend for 3 years for free just to get his business up and going, Bethelites came in and told him that if he did not either, 1, become a Bethelite, or 2, sell out to them, that they were going to bring another of his business into town and put him out of business. People walked into my friend's shop. People walked into his shop and told him that if he didn't join the cult, they were going to run him out of business. This was at least 3 years ago. He asked me specifically not to share who he was because he's trying to sell his business even back then. Right now, he's trying to sell his business. The whole thing. He just wants out of Reading because this cult has taken over and they're making everybody's lives miserable. Let's see what the next thing says. I'm signing because this has to stop. Let's see if there's more to load. Actually, I think you guys got the clue. People in this town don't want the Bethelites here. I love their souls. I hope that they really legitimately come to find the understanding of Yeshua HaMashiach the way that he is in Scripture. I will keep praying for my enemies, even though they are destroying our town. And I pray that they will come out of the beast of Babylon that they are inside of, and that we can figure out how to do a smooth transition as Bethelites migrate out of town. I love your souls, but you were never invited here. You came here by a cult people telling you that they had God give them our town. Lucifer is their god. Therefore, Saint Germain gave them our town. You guys get it? That's why Bethel's teaching New Age stuff. All the New Age teachings are the same as all the stuff inside Freemasonry. They're both Kabbalah. They're both fallen angel doctrines. So Bethel is teaching you to become a Luciferian, charging the students, PSSM students, to become Freemasons, Luciferians. God said that he put a cover over the seers. You can't see right now. Go read the scriptures without twisting them. Because Chris Valentin, I'm going to do a video on Chris Valentin coming up. You guys should see what this guy has said in the past. Wow. All right. Have a great time. I'm going to post this video. Go and... I don't know if this is for locals only. I'll put the link for this. 0 people have signed. 236, 600. Hey, it looks like another person signed since this thing got posted. 37 minutes ago, somebody signed. All right, guys. Stay blessed. Don't fall for the Kool-Aid cults.